Hey guys, I'm going to start a new chapter book today. It's called Ready Freddy Tooth Trouble. And it's about a little boy who has not lost any teeth yet. So the class bully is calling him a baby, which is not kind, is it? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the book and see me. And this is Ready Freddy Tooth Trouble. Okay. This is by Abby Klein, and there he is right there. There's the class bully behind him, not being nice. It's a brand new book, so I get to crease it. That's one of my favorite parts of reading new books, crease brand new book. Tooth Trouble. This is the title page, Ready Freddy, Tooth Trouble by Abby Klein, illustrated by John McKinley. Here are all of the chapters. Let me turn this. Here we go. Chapter 1 is called The Only One, and if you look down here, there are 11 chapters, and then there's Freddy's fun pages at the end, so we'll check that out when we're done. I have a problem. A really big problem. I'm the only one in my class who hasn't lost a tooth. Let me tell you about it. Chapter 1, The Only One. Today, when the bell rang at the end of recess, my best friend Robbie came running into the classroom and almost knocked me over. "Hey, watch it," I said. Robbie was jumping up and down and waving his hands in the air, shouting, "I lost my tooth! I lost my tooth!" He was holding the tooth between his fingers, and he stuck his arm high in the air so everybody could see. As much as I miss you guys, that is one thing I do not miss, is seeing all of your wiggly teeth. Ugh, Mrs. Geider does not like that. Creeps me out a little bit. "Let me see," said Jessie. Robbie smiled really wide and said, sure enough, there was a big bloody hole where his baby tooth used to be. "Ooh," said Chloe, backing up. "That's disgusting. Get away from me. You're going to get blood on my brand new velvet dress." "Is there a lot of blood?" Robbie asked, smiling. Just then, Mrs. Whooshy, our teacher, came over and said, "Oh, it's just a little bit of blood. Why don't you go over to the sink and rinse your mouth with water? Just swish and spit, but don't swallow." "Yeah, blood is cool," said Jessie. "But you don't want to drink it. You'll get a stomachache." "Actually, blood is mostly water," said Robbie. "So it really won't hurt you." Robbie is a science genius. He's read about 1 million books, and he knows everything about everything. "But only Dracula actually drinks blood," I said. "And so does Mr. Pendergast," Max said, laughing. Mr. Pendergast, in case you don't know, is our principal. We call him the skunk. His hair is black, except for a thin gray stripe that runs down the middle. But that's not why we call him the skunk. We call him the skunk because his breath stinks. Whenever he talks to you, you think you're gonna pass out from the smell. "Here's a bag to put your tooth in, Robbie, so you don't lose it," said Mrs. Whooshy, holding up a plastic sandwich bag. "You have to keep it safe so you can put it under your pillow tonight for the tooth fairy. Once you're finished, then come to the rug, and then you can sign the big tooth." The big tooth. I hate that big tooth. Mrs. Whooshy puts up a new tooth every month, and you get to write your name on this big paper tooth every time your tooth falls out. Kind of like that idea. There's lots of teeth that get lost in 2nd grade. And there's an illustration, the big tooth, and there's all the kids' names that have lost teeth. Why do you think he doesn't like this tooth? Well, you missed the beginning of the story, but I think it's because he hasn't lost a tooth yet. He said that was his problem. He's the only kid in his class that hasn't lost a tooth. Is your tooth wiggly? No. "Jessie, nothing scares me. Sanchez got to sign her name on there twice. Max, the meanie Sellers, went up to sign his name for the 3rd time last week. And Chloe, So Wonderful Winters, has written her name on there 4 times already this year. I haven't gotten to sign my name even one lousy time. Great, just great," I mumbled. "My dumb old teeth don't want to come out." Before today, Robbie and I were the only ones who hadn't lost a tooth yet. Now I'm the only one. The only one who hasn't lost a tooth. Everyone, please come to the rug, said Mrs. Whooshy. It's time for Robbie to sign the tooth. Whoop-de-doo for him, I muttered. Let's have a party. Robbie strutted proudly to the front of the room. Here you go, Robbie, said Mrs. Whooshy, handing him the special pen with the smiling tooth on top. Robbie took the pen and signed his name really big, R-O-B-B-I-E. Congratulations, said Mrs. Whooshy, and everyone clapped loudly for Robbie. Well, everyone except me. Now let's see, said Mrs. Whooshy, as she pointed out our tooth graph. It looks like Freddy Thresher is the only one who hasn't lost a tooth yet. Great, did she have to announce it to the whole class? Now everyone was staring at me, and I think a couple kids were laughing. I was so embarrassed. My face got as red as a tomato. That's called a simile, right, second graders? A simile, as red as a tomato. I wished I could make myself invisible. Can I go to the bathroom? I asked Miss Whooshy. Sure, she said. I didn't walk. I bolted to the bathroom. I just wanted to get out of there. When I was safe inside the bathroom, I first checked to make sure no one else was in there. And then I just looked in the mirror and smiled really big. You smile really big? Show me those teeth. Jackson doesn't want to show his teeth. Hey, would just one of you, oh, it says stupid, but I'm going to say silly. Hey, would one of you silly teeth come out already? I yelled. I decided right then and there that no matter what, I was going to lose a tooth, and soon. I just had to come up with a plan. Chapter 2 is called 5 Ways to Lose a Tooth. My goodness, this sounds like trouble to me. Is it a good idea to make your teeth fall out before they're ready? No, it's probably not a good idea. I don't think your dentist or your parents would appreciate that. But we're going to check out what Freddy does. All right, want to say bye to my friends?
Bye.
Bye, friends. Say see you tomorrow. Okay.
I really want to see what Freddy does.
Yep.